Hello. Today
Hi, guys.
we are talking about how to cut your grocery bill in half. Cut it in half. So if you're spending $1,000, you can spend $500. If you're spending $600, you can spend $300. Well, unless you have a family of 10. If you have a family of 10 and you're spending $600, you're doing a good job. So I'll give you that. All right. So tonight, this will be our last live show for a while. We are going to talk about that for just a little bit. We're going to get to our tips first, though. Number one, eat all your food.
Yeah.
Stop throwing food away. I'm just as guilty as the next person. I probably don't throw away as much food as the average person because we are very particular about using leftovers. But it occasionally happens that I order 10 pounds of carrots instead of 1 pound accidentally, and we just can't eat that many carrots. Or I found a half of a cinnamon roll in the downstairs refrigerator. Nobody can figure out whose cinnamon roll it is, where it came from. I don't know where the cinnamon roll came from. So those kinds of things happen all the time. Got a cereal we don't like. It's okay. You know what? I'm going to make it into Chex Mix. So use the food that you have.
You're talking about not leaving packages of cookies and chips out to get stale, and then you could the kids just throw them away because they don't taste good, or cans of pop, that have gone flat. You haven't drank all of it, and use up your leftovers.
Yep.
That night, the food that you've got left, you eat it for lunch the next day, or use it for another meal. Those are the things.
Diane Dime cookbooks. This is the last 24 hours of our sale, guys. It goes off tomorrow for our September sale, but we have a leftover section in each volume 1 and volume 2, and our gluten-free, dairy-free edition also tells you what to do with leftovers. I don't cook. I cook once and eat for 3 or 4 days. So I cook my main meal like a roast chicken quarters, a roast chicken, anything like that. We have that for the first meal. Let's say we have a roast. Have that for the first meal, roast and potatoes and carrots and onions. Then the next meal, beef and noodles. The next meal, French dip. All of these recipes, Dining on a Dime Volume 1. You can go to livingonadime.com, type in roast leftovers, and you'll find a whole post on just using roast leftovers.
We've had a viewer or more than one viewer that have said that the leftovers alone section in the book alone has saved her so much money. I had one not too long ago say that it saved her so much money because it showed you go in there, and if you have mashed potatoes, a cup of mashed potatoes left over, you go into the leftover index, look up mashed potatoes, and it'll list recipes that are in the book that you can use those up, And she said she saved huge amounts of money just using the leftover part index in the book. So
like that 10 pounds of carrots I got, just look up all the carrot recipes. Carrot cookies, carrot cake is in volume 2, but carrot cookies and
coleslaw has carrots in it.
Coleslaw and the what are they called? Oh my goodness gracious. The carrots that you saute in butter and add some brown sugar. Glazed carrots are in there. Thank you. Glazed carrots. And we have a carrot salad. We have a carrot casserole. All those recipes are in here.
And that's just carrots. We have lists of everything you can think of. Leftover blueberries, leftover applesauce, just all kinds of unusual things.
Carrot muffins. Lisa says roast and freeze the carrots. Yeah, that's a great idea. And so I try not to let any food go to waste. Now, granted, do I let food go to waste? Occasionally, yes, it will happen. I'm not going to say it never happens. But I even do things like take my pickle juice and marinate chicken with my pickle juice. It's really tasty. Add that pickle juice into potato salad, egg salad, tuna salad. It's really yummy. Drink it. Mom used to get leg cramps really bad. Grandpa used to get leg cramps really bad. Or was it just Grandpa? Was it you that took it for
me?
Yeah, you did too. And they would drink pickle juice to help with leg cramps. I mean, it's stuff like that that you don't think of, but that you can use those up easily. So livingonadime.com, in the description below is where you can find those tips. The next one is eat less food. I have someone that I know that is working on losing weight, and they really like ramen noodles. And they were like, oh my goodness, one packet of ramen noodles is 2 servings.
Yeah. You look at a can of soup, a lot of them will say they're 2.5 servings, but how many people just
Eat the whole thing?
Eat the whole thing. You have to look at those. I was looking at something else the other day, and I thought, oh my goodness, it had 2 servings in it. And I thought most people eat the whole thing without thinking about it. So start reading this. Everybody's concentrating on these special diets, and stuff to lose weight and everything. If you just start looking at the serving sizes, how much you're eating, and look at the serving sizes on a can, and, cut back just that way. Start out with one thing. Just start looking at the serving sizes. Then after you get that down pat, start looking at the nutrients and things. A lot of people think they need like 4 or 5 helpings of meat a day to get enough protein, but you'd be surprised. You can eat cottage cheese, and if you have cheese on your sandwich, you've got your another protein. So you're eating more nutrients than your body really needs, and you can get too much. It'll fatten you up. That's how they fatten animals, cows and stuff. And I saw a thing the other day that said something about everybody's drinking the oat milk now. And the guy said, I think that's what they use to fatten cows up, is oatmeal. So be careful. Watch the calories on some of this stuff. You might be eating or drinking too much of the healthy food. And so be careful on some of these things.
Now you got me curious. How many calories is in oat milk? Yep. 120 calories is in oat milk for 1 cup. And in regular milk, there is 103 calories.
Most of those almond milk is the same way. They're higher in calories, and milk is not low in calories itself. If you think about how many times you would use milk, like you drink maybe a glass of milk, you would put milk in your coffee, you use milk in mashed potatoes, in soup sometimes. So you're getting a lot of milk often during the day, And
Sandy says she looked at serving sizes and it helped her lose 130 pounds. Sandy, you are not the only person.
Sandy.
I don't know how many people email us, because this is one of our big things, but I don't know how many people email us and say, thank you so much for talking about portion control, because I have lost 50 pounds, 100 pounds. One person lost 250 pounds.
And they said, and I saved money. They always say, I said, not only saved the money, but I lost all this weight.
Paige and Granny lost 40 pounds.
It's amazing. I should take this diet and market it somehow. Don't you think? Maybe we could market it. I'm sure.
But here's the thing. When the fecal matter hits the oscillation unit, people don't realize you don't have to eat that much food to sustain life. When something really major actually happens, there are going to be a lot of people who literally could go months and months longer on the food and the amount of food that they have if they would just actually watch the 2,000 calorie portion control it and just eat that 2,000 calories. It'll be crazy.
Yeah. Another thing too is, like Tara was talking the other night on the meat, about using half the amount of meat in a casserole. You don't need to use that much ingredients in some of these things. I was making my coffee this morning, and I thought, I really don't drink. I drink 3 cups of coffee a day, but I don't really drink 3 cups of coffee because I only use a teaspoon of coffee, and you're supposed to use a tablespoon. So that means I'm only getting like 1/3 of the amount of coffee in that. And then I use twice as much water on top of that. But I got to thinking, I know a lot of you like your coffee strong or whatever, but you might start, just even if you back down on starting out with using like 1/4 the amount of the scoop that you usually use, use 1/4 less, and just use 3/4 of the scoop instead of the whole thing. you'll get used to things gradually by doing just little tiny bits at a time. I take my potato chips and I have a little tiny bowl that I take and put some potato chips in, and that's all I eat. Don't take the bag with you and just sit and eat the bag out of the bag, and do stuff like that too.
The next one that goes with that is cut the drinks. This is huge. People do not understand a third to half of their grocery bill is going to drinks.
We've checked this out over and over again, and that is the amount. And you just check your receipts and check. I bet you'll find out that we're right in that.
Yeah, I mean, it just is absolutely amazing. Mom and I went to the grocery store, what was it, 2 months ago probably? We went to Albertsons. And I went through one checkout line and Mom went through another. And the people in front of her, and their entire basket was just loaded. Remember that?
Drinks.
Oh, with drinks. How much did they spend? Was that $160?
It was 100 and something, yeah.
I think it was $160 they had spent just on drinks.
And it wasn't like they were buying for a huge crowd. A lot of times they have so many different variety. It's not like they're buying a whole crowd full. You know, it's like juice and milk and pop and all that type of thing. So, and once again, when you start doing this stuff, we're not saying go cold turkey, because most people give up. It's like going on a diet and eat carrot sticks and celery for after a day or two, you think, baloney with this, you know, I can't keep up with this. So don't go cold turkey, but just slowly start cutting back on things. You know, if you drink 5 cans of pop a day, cut back to maybe 4 cans to start out with. And just, or like 4 cups of coffee a day, start out to drink 3 to 2 cups a day, you know, that type of thing. Just start slowly.
Yep. All right. Before we get to our next tip, guys, 35% off our September fall sale. Dining on a Dime cookbooks start with volume 1. This is the one to start with. Volume 2 is just a continuation of volume 1, just didn't have room in there. Easy recipes to get you in and out of the kitchen quick that your family will love. Gluten-free, dairy-free edition also, guys. And guys, I have an announcement on the gluten-free. On page 75, if you have the gluten-free, dairy-free book, a viewer noted that she found a typo. Instead of 1 cup of water, it's supposed to be 1.5 cups of water. Somehow it got deleted. The half got deleted. So page 75, add a half a cup of water on that. We'll be putting on stickers, you know, going forward, but just wanted to let you guys know if you have that, I apologize. Typos happen, guys. We're typesetting. Stuff gets accidentally deleted or added. We had that actually happen one time. All right. And the link is in the description below. Also, our price book, if you want to keep track of prices, because prices are going crazy. That is how we get the lowest price on our groceries. Our next tip is stop thinking eating out is saving time and money. I am flabbergasted every time I hear the people say, oh, it's just cheaper to eat out.
I know, I can.
No, it's not. It's not even close. Even if you're single, it's still not cheaper to eat out. It really isn't. So stop going and spending $15 at wherever you're going to go for lunch or dinner. And if you're that desperate to get quick food, go get a piece of fried chicken. This is what Brad at the Restore. Hello, Brad. He was telling me the other day, he went and got himself a piece of, he's single. He got a piece of fried chicken and a little bit of coleslaw, and it cost him $3 instead of $15 or $20.
Yeah.
And it was plenty.
That's what I was going to say too, is if you do go out to eat, you don't need to get a large drink. You don't need to get, I know
dessert.
People go out, they don't have much money, but they go out and they look at that menu, and instead of thinking, okay, what's something I can get that doesn't cost too much, you know, and I can enjoy having a meal, they look at what they want. It's always, I want to have this, and this is what tastes good to me. And they go to the most expensive thing on the menu.
Yeah.
I have never done that. I love lobster. I've never just taken myself out and bought myself a lobster meal for any reason. My husband took me out for our anniversary years ago, but I haven't never done that. And I'll go, even if I go to a fast food place, I don't look at the menu board and I don't get my fries, a large order of fries. I don't get me a sandwich. I don't get a salad to go with that. You can go out to eat, but you can cut back on what you're buying. Just like what Tara said, that he just got the chicken and the coleslaw. And do that when you go to a restaurant too. Cut back on the drinks, just drink water, and then get something less expensive on the menu.
Tanya says, I used to make the excuse of I can't cook. You guys have scolded me. You guys would have scolded me a few years ago. Yeah. Don't give me that baloney that you can't cook. You can make, any moron can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And if you have to eat peanut butter and jelly until you learn how to cook, right here, guys, this is how you learn how to cook, and it's super easy. But seriously, you don't have to live on peanut butter jelly. But my point is, if that's what you need to do until you get to learn how to cook, then just do it.
Eat a bowl of cereal. If you're really serious about saving money and getting out of debt, you'll find a way. And if that means eating a bowl of cereal, or like Tara said, a peanut butter sandwich, you will do that, and it takes sacrifice. It takes sacrifice to get yourself out of debt and get new habits put in place. And guys, you better start getting these habits put in place now. I about had a heart attack when I went to Walmart the last time, because for the first time, I've really seen prices going up. So you need to really start now, as soon as you can, getting these habits in place.
And the next one is stop making complicated meals with ridiculous ingredients.
Oh, yeah.
Easy recipes. Get you in the kitchen quick. I know, guys, but that's why we wrote the book, because cooking does not have to be difficult. Maple glazed chicken in volume 1, honey baked chicken in volume 1. Those are our top 2 recipes on our website, livingonadime.com. You can go there and try it. And both of them are 4 ingredients. But both of those are our top 2 recipes on our website that everybody absolutely loves. They make it all the time. They get huge raves. We got a comment the other day from Anne. Thank you, Anne, for writing. She says, hi, Tara. I have all your cookbooks. I just made a pot roast from volume number 1, and then the buttermilk biscuits in volume number 2. Now I have to make more biscuits because my family ate the first batch right off the pan. Love you, Anne. Thank you, Anne. We love you too. Aww. And here's the thing. Everybody's like, oh, well, I can't make biscuits. There's no way I could make biscuits. Once you learn how to make biscuits, it literally takes 5 minutes to make biscuits. It really does.
Well,
it's not hard.
Our recipes are easy enough that a lot of homeschooling moms, a lot of moms, period, have taught their kids how to cook out of these cookbooks. The kids love using these cookbooks, but yet seasoned cooks enjoy our cookbooks because we keep it simple. And when we mean keep it simple too, you don't have to have a 7-course meal. You can have just 2 or 3 dishes, and that's plenty. You don't need to get really involved in, deep cooking and do Martha Stewart type stuff.
Yeah, stop watching Martha, please.
Or any of these chefs on TV or YouTube.
It's ridiculous.
Don't watch that stuff. They make such a big deal out of meals. And I think that's what has scared a lot of people off, thinking they can't do it, because it's really much simpler than that.
Yeah. So keep a pantry with your regular staples all the time. I just buy my stuff on sale and restock my pantry when it's on sale. I don't meal plan and then go grocery shopping. I have never, ever meal planned and then gone grocery shopping. I refill my pantry with my staples, and I only grocery shop when those things are on sale. Then I will refill my pantry, and I cook my meals around what I need to use out of my pantry, my freezer, and my stockpile.
And keep your spices down to a minimum, and your sauces and that type of things, because you start getting all that stuff and the cooking does get more complicated. I've only used onion salt or onion powder, garlic powder, and salt. That's all the seasoning I used in anything I cooked for the past 3 weeks. Now, if I bake, I have like 4 or 5 seasonings I use for cinnamon and that for my baking. But regular meals, that's all that's all you really need to make a regular meal taste good. And so, cut back on some of these seasonings and stuff that you're buying and sauces and stuff.
Well, a lot of the seasoning mixes are in our cookbooks. So like your Montreal seasoning, your taco seasoning, fajita seasoning, all of those are in our cookbook, and they're made with basic ingredients that you already have. So like I have oregano, basil, garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, cumin. Let's see, what else do I have? Thyme, pepper, salt, of course. But those are the basic spices and then I have my baking spices. So allspice, ginger, cloves, cinnamon, nutmeg. And that's about all the seasonings that we have. So then you can pretty much make everything from those seasonings if you just keep those on hand. And I don't buy the little packets. I bought one of those when we were on vacation last year. My kids about had a cow. They were like, Mom, why are you buying this? And they were actually freaked out about it. I said, well, I don't want to buy a whole bottle of everything just for this one little meal that we're having on vacation. So that's the only time I've bought it. But yeah. So, all right, put your comments and questions in the comment section. Mike will send them to me. Now, I told you guys we were having an announcement in case you missed it at the beginning. This is going to be our last live show for a while. I'm going to continue doing videos. We're not stopping videos, but we are stopping the live shows for a little while at least. And just wanted to give everybody a heads up. So if you come on Wednesday night, we're not here. Sorry, that's why we're not here. So we wanted to give you guys that heads up on that. And we are going to continue making videos on living on a dime and super easy. I'm going to keep going with that. And let's see. Did you send me the comments, Mike? Okay. Just a second. Mike had a problem sending me the comments. So just if you guys are missing us, that's what happened. Rob, Little House Off Grid, how are you and your lawnmowers doing? All right. Hello, Lemon Squeezy. Okay. Questions and comments. Here we go. Rhonda, passed through Sheridan the other day on vacation. Oh, thanks. Oh, I hope you waved.
Yeah.
Our house looks over the highway. And so we jokingly, when friends or family pass by and they can't stop, we say, we're waving at you as we go by. I hope you had a good vacation in Wyoming. Tanya, and it wasn't during the hail.
Yeah, really. Or the snow in the mountains that they had.
Tanya, Tara and Jill and Mike, who's behind the camera tonight, she will miss you because we're one of her favorites. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like watching. Valley Badlands evening, planned my day so I'd be done and ready for tonight's live. Thank you very much. Thank you. I did too. I crack me up some days, not all days. All right, let's see. Ashley, I live in Central Oregon and we have a decently cold, snowy, icy winters. What's your winters like there? We are thinking of moving to Wyoming. You're in Central Oregon. You're going to be in for a rude awakening if you're coming to Wyoming. Yeah. So I know Central Oregon. I had actually planned on moving there at one point, but our winter starts in about 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. We get our first snow. The first year we lived here, it was October 8th, I think. Usually it's between the first week of October and the third week of October, we get our first snow.
It was 8 inches, that first snow we got.
Definitely have a freeze before then. And so you can pretty much expect snow from then until the end of May. This year's, we got down to, we had a freeze warning. We didn't make it down. We made it down to 34 or 33 degrees on June 23rd. So if you plan on having a garden, you're going to have lots of fun with that.
And one thing a little bit different about the weather here too is most places I lived where there's been snow, the snow plows go out and plow the roads, so you can kind of get around and go places. Here, if we get even like 8 inches of snow or something, the plows do not go out. And a lot of times the highways, the main roads are all closed. And that was more of a shocker to me than anything, is the fact you can't leave. There's no roads, to go out.
So for 2022 and 2023, between November and April, the highways, I-90 and I-80, were closed. I think it was, I can't remember if it was 60 or 65 days between November and April. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you.
Yeah. So if like if we go to Colorado and they had a snow up here, we maybe couldn't get back home for a week or more,
So it is definitely Wyoming. Everything you hear is true. I'm not going to sugarcoat for you. Let's see. Michelle, by the way, thank you, Michelle, for the book. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to read this, and then Mom will probably read it after me, so we appreciate that. And Sandy, thank you. Thank you, Sandy.
That's cute.
Mom hasn't seen hers yet, and Mike hasn't got his yet. I just came in the mail, so
thank you for whatever.
Thank you very much.
You guys are so thoughtful and doing stuff like that for us all the time. Cute. And we really enjoy it, too, getting the little gifts.
Rosemary loves your scarf.
Oh, thank you.
It reminds her of something Minnie Mouse would wear.
Oh, that is funny. But that is true. I did, didn't I?
Lauren said, we're saving on groceries this month by cleaning out our freezer. It's full of fuzz. And needs to be defrosted. Oh, maybe ice fuzz, I guess.
Fuzz,
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you mean.
I know
exactly what you mean.
I would do more than defrost it. I'd be getting rid of that food. I know you're supposed to skin it before you put it in the freezer. Dale, today I made chicken and dumplings, cooking pork hocks for bruschetta. Mixed together peanut butter cookies and oatmeal raisin cookies. We'll bake later.
That sounds good.
Bounty and Badlands, big pheasant hunt tomorrow. Baked cheesecakes for dessert auction plus 3 dozen potato buns and 2 dozen spud nuts for lunches tomorrow. Been at it since 4 a.m. Holy cow.
Wow,
my goodness.
I imagine you have.
You're in your 70s and you're doing all this? Good grief.
Wow.
I hope I have that much
energy. Sounds good, though.
Denise, wasting is huge. She says re-crisp crackers. Yeah, you just throw them in the oven. That's actually a tip in volume 1. We have how to do that, but you just throw them in the oven just for a few minutes and they will re-crisp up. And
potato chips and stuff you can crumble for crumbs on top of casseroles too if they're stale, and it'll bake them. But what happens is a lot of people just throw this stuff out. And you're right. You need to learn how to reuse this stuff.
Yep. Michelle says pickle juice is my family's secret ingredient in barbecue hot dog recipes. Hot dog recipe. How in the world would you do that? Just add barbecue sauce and pickle juice? I'm going to have to try that one, Michelle. That's interesting. Let's see. Yeah, I guess I could see that.
It's like the grape jelly we did with the mustard.
Yeah, I guess.
Put the hot dogs in there.
I could see that. Yeah.
That would be good.
Bounty Badlands, I freeze my mashed taters in my shepherd's pie pan lined with Rax paper. Easy peasy to place it on top of burger filling. That's a
really good idea.
That's a really good idea. I'm going to do that for a tip, Bounty.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Really good idea.
Wanda, who makes up how much serving sizes? So I think I don't think it's a law. I don't know for sure, but I think there is a general food guideline, I guess is how you would say it. 1 serving of fat is 100 calories. So whatever fat you have, usually it's a tablespoon of fat is 100 calories. So all your oils, your shortening, your baking grease, most of them are 100 calories around there. So like 1 serving of bread is between 80 and 100 calories. And so I think, I don't know for sure, but I think that's how they determine what a serving size is. And so like a vegetable serving is 50 usually 1 cup of vegetables is around 30 to 50 calories. So I think that's how they do it. I'm not positive.
Mhm.
So Sandy, I always look at serving sizes. Helped her lose 130 pounds. Yep, that's great.
Another thing too on the calories, be careful. I looked up my vitamins. I take just a regular 1 a day type vitamin type thing. They were 35 calories. So if you take a lot of different, things like that, you might watch what the calories are on those, because those things, all those little 35s and 30 calorie type stuff here starts adding up, whenever you're eating stuff.
Yeah, like I started taking this collagen powder.
Oh yeah, I looked that up too.
I love this stuff. I'm like completely sold on it now. It has just, I think it's the best stuff ever. But it is 40 calories.
40 calories
for the serving of it. And so if you're counting calories to lose weight,
you have to do that with the protein drinks, with everything you're taking extra like that. That stuff really can add up to almost a full meal.
Yep. Next, Becca, on the oat milk, what about if you can't do milk due to severe allergy? Well, then just drink it. I mean,
yeah, you can't. Just don't
make yourself sick.
What we're saying is just don't drink excessive amount. Yeah,
just watch your calories.
It would be like anything else, regular milk. My mom had a friend that she could not lose weight, and she was just going on. And my mom asked her what she was eating. She said, well, I always have a glass of milk with every meal and before I go to bed. And my mom said, do you not realize how many calories is in a glass of milk? Because she was getting equal to almost a full meal with just the milk, calories for a full meal with just the milk she was drinking. So that's what we're talking about, that you're just not supposed to stop doing any of this. You just need to know how much you're eating and drinking and what it is.
Sandy, people have to eat less and cook at home. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Down in the Badlands, who knows? If whoever knew what we ate in a day, they'd have a heart attack. But we work outside all day, so we burn the calories. Well, yeah, you're a rancher. I mean, you're going to be burning the calories, so that makes sense.
And you have to factor all these things in to the whole thing.
Word salad. Oh, Kamala's commenting. I thought that was funny. Word salad says, that may be an insult to you. If it is, I'm sorry. Okay. Word salad says, bought stuffed cherry peppers and oil. Use the oil for cooking. Yeah, I bet that was really good, actually. That's another good tip. Man, I'm going to take these tips, guys, and I'm going to put these in some of our videos.
Coming up with some good ideas.
Wanda, I get confused on what to put together to get the best benefits health-wise. They give portion sizes of one thing, but what about what to put with it? I mean, are you talking like, let's say coleslaw, you've got your, 100 calories for your whole pot of vegetables and then your 100 calories for your mayonnaise? Is that what you mean?
Well, Wanda, probably what you need to do is you need to go and find an old food pyramid. And on that food pyramid, it'll tell you exactly how many servings you need, like how many servings of dairy you need a day, how many servings of vegetables you need a day or fruits a day. And then you just have that amount of servings of each one of those items a day. And when you do that, that pretty much will help with your calorie, count too, if you just stick to those types of things.
All right, let's see.
But check out the food pyramid because, you only need like 3 servings of protein or meat a day. So then you'll know, you can have one for each meal or something like that.
Jim says he voted for Trump today in early voting today. No word salad for me. Good job, Jim. Yes, get out there and vote. Because who knows if you're going to be in a car accident or what. Everybody just get out there and vote. Because if you're in a car accident on the day of voting day or your kids get sick or conveniently that thing going around happens again.
Keeps everybody at home then.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Kim. We finished a whole chicken. I got 5 meals from. Very good. Chicken and potatoes, chicken and stuffing, chicken and squash, 2 meals of chicken salad. I only have 2 people in my family, so that helps. Yeah. I mean, that's perfectly fine. Sandy just discovered how good coffee tastes without sugar. Very good.
Oh, good. Yeah, that'll help you a lot. See, I like hot tea and coffee both, but I always drink more coffee just because I put sugar in my tea. So I'll just limit myself to how much tea I drink and drink more coffee to save on the calories.
Yep. Mike, you can send me the next one. Michelle says, when the EMS came, they fixed me a PB&J sandwich and a glass of water, saved me an ambulance ride to the hospital. At the ER, they probably would have just given me an IV of fluids and maybe a sandwich. Yep, that's great. Yep. Hair, and it's good that they were willing to do that.
Yeah.
Hair tied, I made your taco seasoning mix yesterday and cooked up a 5-pound tube of ground beef. I got reduced for $8. Good job.
Oh.
Then froze 5 packets of taco meat. The taco mix tastes great. Thank you. Yeah.
Good.
Dining on a Dime, Volume 1. Guys, it's last 24 hours of our fall sale. The taco seasoning is in here. And then if you want, I can't remember if it was 6 or 7 Mexican food recipes. So what we did was we had 1 taco meat and you made 6 or 7 different dishes with the 1 taco meat. And so that collection is in Dining on a Dime Volume 2.
And that's how you make the cooking easier, so you don't go out to eat so much when you do stuff like that, make up a batch of stuff.
Rosemary, I did see your comment and I apologize. I got distracted and I forgot to answer that. I'm very sorry. I did not intentionally mean to miss that. She says, Tara, what is the name of the electric skillet you cook with? You used it in the video you played for Peachy Pork Chops. So I have like 3 electric skillets. One is my grandma's. That's a Salad Master. One is a, just went out of my head. Oh, good grief. It doesn't matter. The thing is, all 3 of them, I've gotten at garage sales or thrift stores for $1 or $2. And they're the old 1950s ones. And so those are the ones that you're seeing. So I just get an old 1950s stainless steel. They're all stainless steel. I like those the best. Skillet. And I just find that they cook really evenly and I love them. So I have 3 of them because they are from the 50s. I've gone through 1 or 2 because I'm using them and they've broken now just from getting worn out, but it hasn't been anything major or dangerous, just like, a handle broke or something like that. So,
and you pay so little for them that you can afford to go through.
Just do it. Yeah. Wanda, you have the serving size of one thing, but a meal has more than one thing, such as potatoes, veggie. What about when you make soup? So that's where so what I would do is just Google calories in 1 cup of vegetable soup. Just do it that way. Calories in mashed potatoes. Calories in 1 cup of mashed potatoes. Just Google it that way. The next thing is stop making it so complicated. One of the best things I'm overweight. I know this. I need to follow Dr. Oz's advice. I'm not going to tell you. I don't need to do that. I do. But Dr. Oz had the best advice I think I've ever heard on losing weight. He said, pick 3 things and only eat those 3 things for breakfast and lunch. So pick 3 breakfasts and 3 lunch. And figure out the calories. So if you have 2 eggs and 2 pieces of toast and a teaspoon of butter, that is going to be 400 calories for breakfast. Then you don't have to think about it every single time you eat. The majority of days, you're going to eat one of those 3 breakfasts. Oatmeal with vegetables, brown sugar, whatever, and I don't know what, a poached egg or something. I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. But anyway, pick those 3 breakfasts, figure out the calories. Then you don't have to think about that. Pick your 3 lunches. Tuna salad sandwich. What are lunches? I can't think right now.
Yogurt and a piece of fruit.
Tomato soup and grilled cheese.
Peanut butter sandwich.
Those are your 3 lunches. And then you figure out the calories for that. And then you're not having to think about calories for those meals. You know how much is a serving. You know how many calories it is. Then for your dinners, do our method. Mom's done this method for 50 years. 10 meals in the spring and summer, 10 meals in the fall and winter. And just as you cook them each day, just figure out the calories for each meal and then write it down on the index card next to the meal. And that's it. So
And
I
once
think people
once
just get overwhelmed.
Yeah,
and
with
you just break it down to
trying to
smaller
do
things.
too much at one point. And see, what the whole thing is, once you get used to having learned those, what poached eggs and how many calories that is and everything for that one meal for breakfast for say a month or something, then you'll be more comfortable with the figuring of it, and you can get one more thing added into or something different. But it just gets you used to checking the calories and used to remembering that. And it's way it's really, you're making it more complicated. Most people do. They think it's just, oh, the food pyramid, I got to learn 100 things. No, you just need, I think there's like I just said, there's only like what, 7 or 8 things on that food pyramid that you're supposed to eat a day of different types of, sections of food. About 7 or so. That's all you're going to have to figure out. Am I having my right amount of meat, which is 3 servings? Am I having the right amount of fruits and vegetables with it, which is 6 to 7 servings total? Tari just pulled it up.
Okay, so I pulled it up because there's a lot of hoo-ha on, oh, nobody should be watching the food pyramid. It's upside down and all this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, listen. The food pyramid, there's nothing crazy about it. So let me show you here just a second. Let me get the shared screen here.
I learned this in elementary school, so it's that easy to learn.
But, okay, so let me show you here. So look at this. Bread, rice, cereal, pasta. 6 to 11 servings, depending on your size. A teenage boy is going to want 11 servings. An elderly woman is going to want 6 servings. What are 6 servings? 2 pieces of toast for breakfast. That's 2 servings right there. A sandwich for lunch. There's 2 more servings. 1 cup of rice at dinner. There's your other 2 sandwiches. There's your 6 servings right there. People now are so, oh, it's just way too much bread and all this. No, just stop eating so much darn tootin' food.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it amounts to. And like the vegetables on here, you need 3 to 5 vegetables and 2 to 4 fruits. So that is 5 vegetables and fruits. For someone like Mom.
Not 5 fruits and 5 vegetables. That's what people have made it into, that you need the 5 fruits and 5. No, you need a total. So if you have carrot sticks for lunch, if you have a glass of orange juice, small glass of orange juice for breakfast, if you have an apple for lunch, you've already got 3 servings right there. You have green beans for dinner and maybe what? What's another vegetable? Green, broccoli or something for lunch. That you've got, it's taken care of. You see, so it's not that much food if you think about it.
Well, like a large banana is 2 servings of fruit.
Yeah.
A large apple is 2 servings of fruit. Mm-hmm. These are small apples, small to medium bananas. So
6 ounces is about a serving for fruit of orange juice.
And an easy way to do it, a super, super easy way to do this is divide your plate into quarters. And on 1/2, have your meat on 1/2. 1/2, not your meat on 1/2. 1/4 is your fruit or your vegetable, and then 1/4 is your starch. That's all it is. So if you have a normal size plate, if you have more than about this much of a potato, this much rice, you're eating 2 servings. This is 1 serving. If you're having more than about this much of fruits or vegetables,
the size of your fist,
that's 1 serving. So, I mean, it's really not hard, but people just like to complicate things because we're human. Lemon squeezy, I've only been drinking my water. I tried a 1/4 bottle of lemonade and I thought I was going to dehydrate. Instantly wanted water, too much sugar. Yeah, those pre-packaged lemonades have a lot of sugar in them. Sandy, it is not cheaper to eat out. Cook healthy, home-cooked meals at home. Yep. Nancy says eating out is way too expensive for seniors. Apparently not a lot of seniors because, my goodness, when you go on taco date, good grief. He is crazy. Michelle says Giant Eagle has the best fried chicken. Let Lemon squeezy 6 fried ship at Publix is $1.35 plus apple and water. That's less than $3 for lunch. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Tanya says, I used to make the excuse. Oh, wait, I got that one. Banning the Badlands. Keep in mind your calorie output compared to your input. Yes.
Exactly.
The less active you are, the less calories you need. Yep. Michelle says, I love Taco Bell, but they raised their prices. I have not been to Taco Bell since we've lived here.
I have.
And when we were in Colorado, I got horribly sick the last time. I probably haven't been to Taco Bell in almost 10 years.
This Taco Bell was so nice. I haven't ever been to Taco Bell that's as nice and clean as what this one is and everything.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wanda says, I'm trying to set up my kitchen to make it easier for me to cook. Put my rollator there to sit on. Now I rearrange my shelves. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, guys, put all your baking stuff together. Put all your stuff that you cook over the stovetop, your oils, your garlic, your onion powder, put all of that together, your salt, your pepper, put all of that, your stovetop stuff together.
And if you're on your own, like I have one small frying pan. It's like is it a 6-inch frying pan, I think? 6 or 7-inch frying pan. And I've got one small little saucepan. And then I've got another just about 2 cups bigger saucepan. That's all the pans I have that I have access to. Now I have one larger frying pan that's put away in the back of the cabinet. But, you don't need a whole lot of this stuff in the kitchen. I think people have way more stuff that they could use, a double whammy for type of thing and everything. So cut back on all the dishes and stuff that you have, and that'll help too in arranging your kitchen.
Connie says in Deadwood, South Dakota, a person has to pay at least $10 for a hamburger, no fries, $15 with fries. That's ridiculous.
Oh,
wow.
That's crazy.
Michelle, my mom fixed PB&J every day for school lunch in grade school. I savored every bite. It filled me up. More eating slowly. There you go. Edifying gravity. Oh, man, I'll tell you. I had a problem when my son's school was having to bring in 3 or 4 microwaves for kids to heat up food. I'm like, okay, if any of the school people are watching this, sorry, but I'm like, are you kidding me? A microwave? Can we not just have a sandwich?
That's part
What
of where
happened
we're
to just
making
having a
stuff
sandwich?
so complicated now for meals.
Like, good grief.
Yeah, and most kids, we're hearing weird noises happening in the neighborhood. Most kids are happy with that. What people don't realize, kids, when they get the same food every day for lunch, pretty much the same. Now you can add a little bit of variety, but pretty close to the same thing. It's a comfort to them. They don't like drastic changes in their food and stuff like that. So they're probably perfectly happy with that peanut butter sandwich and a cookie and a piece of fruit every day. So you're making it harder on yourself as a mom, thinking, well, I need to give them some variety, or I need to do this for them. And that's why so many kids throw their lunches away or don't even eat them.
Yeah. Well, ask your kids what they want.
Yeah.
So like my kids, they finally said, Mom, I'm getting kind of tired of peanut butter and jelly. I'm like, okay, what do you want? Do you want some chicken noodle soup? Do you want a ham sandwich? Do you want a turkey sandwich? Give them some choices. But even at that, it wasn't like this. It wasn't
Every day
ridiculous
you had to
choices
fix
either.
Yeah, different every day and all this stuff.
So, yeah. Michelle says, I'm going to make zucchini bread. Yes, Dining on a Dime Volume 1 has the best zucchini bread you will ever eat in your entire life. 35% off right now for a fall sale, guys. All of our cookbooks are on sale. Edifying Gravity, my husband and I went to Wendy's for date night. We got a $7 meal deal. He had the nuggets, I had the sandwich, and we shared the fries and drink. They had $1 Frosties, so we splurged. Yeah. Michelle says, I went to Aldi's yesterday and found a good deal on vanilla. Very good. Hello, Debbie. She's told us hello.
Hi,
Beth
Debbie.
says, I remember living in my first apartment. We ate PB&J, mac and cheese, bologna sandwiches, and tuna. We lived on that for months. Yep. Dawn in Pennington says, in fact, I got a big pack of everything for the sale. Thank you. Valley of the Badlands. We eat a full breakfast, meat, eggs, decent lunch, full meat, taters, veggies, dinner, about 4,000 calories a day, but we burn that much. Yep.
Yeah.
Very good. Seeking joy, even cereal is expensive. I eat eggs for breakfast and don't get hungry fast. Egg prices are going up in California. You two look really good. Sorry for the hill trash on your garden. Thanks.
Thank you.
I've come to terms with it. Edifying Gravity says, did you know that a study from the World Health Organization says that PB&J is the food that is most likely to make you live longer? It's a little more complicated, but that's the general idea. Wow. And Eclair says she loves the pictures in our cookbooks. Yes, this is volume 2. We got pictures for for a lot of our recipes in here. We didn't have room to put every single picture in there, but yes. Galen says cooking is like anything else. It takes practice. Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. Dawn wants to know, do we make our own vanilla extract? Okay. Yes, but here's my caveat. It is not cheaper than buying vanilla at the grocery store. So normally I just get imitation vanilla. But I do make my own because in Dining on a Dime Volume 1, we have a recipe for homemade real vanilla extract. And so when I do a video at Christmas for that, like every Christmas I show making vanilla extract, I do make my own. But it is not cheaper than buying it at the grocery store. It's just one of those recipes to have on hand in case you can't buy it.
Get the vanilla, yeah. That's another thing. We have a ton of recipes in there in case you run out of stuff, like how to make Bisquick, hot chocolate drink. I don't know. We just have all kinds of things that you can make from ketchup, mustard,
French toast, pancakes, scrambled eggs.
All kinds of stuff like that you may not eventually sometime be able to get or, get to the store to get. And we've got those recipes in there that you can use.
Yeah. Let's see. Rachel, I use Lowry's seasoned salt and love it. Yes. Best seasoned salt recipe ever is the one in our Dining on a Dime Volume 1. This is the one I use. Hands down, it is 1,000 times better than Lowry's. It's livingonadime.com. Just type in seasoned salt if you want to grab the recipe on our website. Margaret says the book and the price book are really worth it. Thank you. Our price book right here. This is how you keep track of prices at the This is how you keep track of prices at the grocery store to know when the price is a good stock up price so that when you see it on sale, you know if it's worth it or not. She says, I tucked my savings in the little book and the difference in cost paid for my truck insurance bill.
Wow.
And I was a total mess for real. Long way to go, but this works. Thank you,
Very
Margaret.
good.
My goodness, that's great.
Good. Yeah.
Sandy, I put garlic and onions in everything I cook. Yep, we do too. Rosemary. I'm trying to figure out how to make Greek seasoning mix. I like the mixture from the little Greek Fresh Place grill. Let's see. Greek seasoning is it in volume 1 or 2? Let me look. I can't remember which one. Real quick. Greek. It must be volume 2. Right here. Greek seasoning in here. Wanda, garlic and onion flavors rule. Yep. Mm-hmm. Galen, I love shopping my pantry and freezer, throwing things together and just creating. Oops, I did not mean to do that. The next one is Mike. I don't have anything to tell you.
She just can't remember your name. She called you Mark. You might be kind of cautious about, I think about that, Mike, if she's calling you by another man's name.
Yeah, it's better than Steve.
That's better.
So I have so the answer to your question is Walmart. Like ever since we've been married, whenever I have a dream about Mike, in the dream, his name is Steve. So it's like actually Mike, talks like Mike, is Mike, acts like Mike. And I know it's Mike, but his name is always Steve. And I don't even know a Steve. The last Steve I knew was my brother's best friend when he was growing up. His brother's name was Steve. But that's the only Steve I've ever known. And this person looks like Mike in my dreams. So it's weird. But yeah. Yes. In case you guys missed the announcement. This will be our live show for a while. Thank you, Janet and Chrissy and Beth and Angela, and our last live show. Didn't I say live show? Oh, our last live show is going to be tonight for a while. So thank you, everyone who
But we
said you're
will
going
have
to miss
videos.
us.
Tara
Yeah,
will still
so,
keep doing
yeah.
videos. Mhm.
Bad in the Badlands. When my husband and I first started dating, all he had was S&P, chili spice, and ketchup. Typical bachelor. Yep.
Yeah.
Rosemary, please state the name of. Oh, got that one. Okay, Connie. She's gonna miss the live shows too. Thank you. Jim says he's gonna. Oh, Jim, I'm sorry. He says he's gonna need therapy without the live.
And we're supposed to be helping you save money. We're making you spend more.
Well, Jim, you let us know if you come through the north part of Wyoming, and we will get together with you guys. That will be
that would
funny.
be fun.
And someone else said, "Oh, Tara, I'd love to meet you. We're coming through Wyoming on I-80. We are not anywhere near I-80. So I'm sorry. We are in the north part of Wyoming on I-90. So I-80 is about 5 hours from us."
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl's going to miss us too. And thank you, Wanda. And yes, so that's our announcement for the evening. Nguyen says, how can I make homemade pasta? So you'll have to Google that recipe. That is not what I consider an easy recipe. It's actually probably not that hard. Now, we do have egg noodles, homemade egg noodles in Dining on a Dime Volume 1. That's my grandmother's recipe. That's very delicious. But just regular pasta, we don't have a recipe for that. I'm sorry. So Darlene just ate tomato, onion, mayonnaise, sunflower. Okay.
Tomato?
This is a new one. Darlene just ate a tomato, onion, mayonnaise, sunflower seed sandwich for supper. I am going to try that.
Yeah, it sounds like something you would like.
A tomato that has ripened from the hailstorm.
You love sunflower seeds.
I like sunflower seeds, onions, mayonnaise, and tomato. I'm going to try that for supper. That is that's new one on me.
But, look she's got, a lot of stuff in there that she needs for nutrition, nutritionally.
Yeah. Eva, someone gave me 6 cans of stewed tomato. I've actually never bought them. So what are some good things to use for them? Chili, spaghetti sauce, just grind them up for any type of sauce. The chicken curry in volume 1 is really, really good. The chicken cacciatore in volume 2 is really, really good also.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, wild winters and winds in Wyoming. Oh yeah, that's an understatement of the century. Michelle, we had an adventure here in our town. So there was a spy balloon hovering over our town for all day yesterday. Yeah, it was crazy. So everybody was posting on our local town Facebook page, what is this? What is this? And they were like, oh, it's a weather balloon or whatever. My son looked it up and it's a surveillance balloon of some sort.
I'm surprised somebody didn't shoot it out of the air. I mean, it was close enough hovering down. I'm surprised here in Wyoming somebody didn't shoot it.
Then as we were looking at it, my son noticed that a drone was circling around it. And it stayed in the same place. It wasn't moving. So it was controlled by something or another somewhere.
That's not a weather balloon. Do they think we're so foolish to say that?
So they were looking on something. Eva says Michelle says Columbus is good about plowing, but we have mild winters for a long time, but we need rain right now in the worst way. Yep. Oh my goodness. It is so weird. We finally got rain day before yesterday and it was glorious. And all of the fires are, well, if they're not gone, they're really pushed back, and the sky was actually clear today. And yesterday and this morning, we were driving at sunset and then sunrise. I was like, oh my goodness, the sun is so bright.
Yeah, it was really bright.
But you know what's funny? The birds are back.
Oh.
The birds have been gone for almost 2 months and they came back. Isn't that interesting? It was kind of freaky because we have a lot of trees on our property and around us. So we have a lot of birds and they were just gone. It was weird. So anyway, Michelle says, really glad you got my book. Thank you.
Mhm.
What's interesting is Anna in the book, they say has Down syndrome, but they don't say it in the movie. Oh, interesting. Huh. I'll have to read that. That sounds interesting. Helen says pickle juice, excuse me, helps my indigestion. Here I'm burping as I say that. Sorry. Mike, you can send me the next one. Bounty in the Badlands says frost here tonight. Then back up to 20C for next week. We still have hay to put up. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
So we need the heat. Yeah, you do. Good grief. Tammy says you're glowing.
Thank you.
Kimberly, I've been keeping an eye on dock workers that are possibly going to strike because that will collapse our supply chain. So be sure you're stocked up. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Seriously. Oh, brother. Kimberly, keep me updated on that, please. Thank you for updating me on Facebook because, yeah. Crescent, spaghetti tonight. Saved at least $50 by not going out to eat. Very good.
Very good.
Please stop going out to eat. Oh my goodness.
Well, look at
$50
$50 for one meal alone. You know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Can you imagine if you go out 3 or 4 times, even more a week, how much that adds up over a month or a year?
Just keep some link sausage and some tater tots. Throw them in the air fryer or the oven. Cook those up, nuke a bag of broccoli, and you got dinner. I mean, really, that would cost you less than $5. And people, not you, Crescent, but people just think that cooking at home is so hard, and it's not. And some of the videos I'm going to be doing are on cheap budget meals because people are making this way more complicated than you need to, and you don't have to live on beans either.
Well, I had a chef salad last night. All I did, I already had some lettuce chopped up. I sliced a tomato on it. I had a hard-boiled egg I put on it with some grated up cheese. And I had everything I needed, you know, for nutrients for that one meal. And that it didn't even take me 5 minutes to throw that together. So it's not that hard.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Edifying Gravity says it's a Floridian. The casual way you all talk about snow and ice blows my mind. Yeah, the casual way you guys talk about alligators blows my mind.
Tara has a thing about the alligators. That's funny. Isn't that funny how different everybody, when they find out we were from Kansas, they say, oh, the tornadoes. We don't think anything about tornadoes.
I'd rather have a tornado than an earthquake.
I know. I thought we got plenty of warning on the tornadoes.
Yeah.
We can know even almost a week ahead of time that we're going to have bad storms. And we've got a basement that we're safe and we can go into, you know.
Most of the time we have plenty of warning. Now, in my son's case, when he was hit
last year, he was in no man's land.
He did not get a warning, but most of the time we have warning.
But I'll be honest, I have lived all over the country in my whole life. I've moved 35 times and I've lived overseas. And, you know, each place has their own different type of thing that people have to deal with for weather. And none of it's really quite as bad as what you think once you've lived there and gotten used to it. So
Tammy says got pineapple for 99 cents. Good job.
Oh, that's good.
And Wellman says I made sloppy joes tonight. Really good. Thank you. Dining on a Dime Volume 1 right there. It is also in our gluten-free, dairy-free edition. And guys, if you have our gluten-free, dairy-free edition, I was notified yesterday by a viewer that there's a typo. I apologize. All the recipes are tested, but in typesetting on page 75, during the typesetting, we accidentally left off the half a cup. So it should be 1 1/2 cups of water on page 75. So if you have this book, please correct that. I apologize. We're putting a little note in every book from now on, but I don't normally make that as my gluten-free bread. I don't know why. It's the no need gluten-free bread. I don't know. I just make the other one. But the sandwich bread normally is what I made. So I just did not catch that. So I'm very sorry about that. And yes, we've edited the books 1,000 times. It's just one of those things we miss. It's just part of being self-published. Susan, are you planning on having a Black Friday sale? Yes, that will probably be our next sale is for Black Friday. Marie wants to know the name of the book is called The Sugar House Inn by Serena Miller. So I don't know. Michelle just said that this was a good book and she very kindly sent it to me. So thank you. So I have not read it. Mom will read it after me. Jim said, frigid weather keeps Wyoming small. No wimps there. Yeah, you gotta be tough to live
I
here.
saw a bumper sticker at church the other day, and it says, Wyoming is full, but I hear Nebraska's really nice.
I'm not hearing Nebraska is nice.
So I thought that was cute because they're trying to get, they like being so little populated here in Wyoming. They really do like that.
Yes. Helen says, growing up, we didn't have Coke, soda pop, or chips. We only got those at church homecoming once a year. That's funny. Patricia, where are you going visiting in Vermont? She's going to Vermont tomorrow. Ooh. Fun. We are going to the Stowe area. We're going actually from Burlington over to Portland. So we're going to do that drive over there. Stephanie, oh my goodness, never loan your adult children money. They need to figure it out. Yeah, so somebody, I didn't see here, I just saw it in the comments, but I don't know if it got missed or not. But somebody said, what do you do? I loaned my son, I think. I don't know if it was 1,500 or 15,000. I'm sorry. Is it further? Okay, I'll get to it when I get further down here. Okay, we'll deal with that in just a second. Lemon Squeezy, I just cleaned out the pantry cabinet and I'm finally getting it together, people. Good job. I worked on my pantry too. I got my pantry halfway clean today and I got my basement fully clean today. That was a job.
Well, I noticed that when I went down
Did you
there.
go, oh,
I did. I thought, oh my goodness.
Didn't have to kill yourself going down there. Oh my goodness. I've just been piling stuff because you know how it gets. You just throw stuff down there in the general area and you'll deal with it later. But yeah. Amazing Grace says, how is everyone? I forgot you were all on tonight. Yes, we are doing good. Thank you. Chantel says, I've got my groceries at $150 for the month for just me. I'm trying to get closer to $100. Good job.
Very good.
You might have to do $125 now. Prices are going up even more. So Wellman says, I eat 80 grams of meat protein a day and I feel so much better now. It's about 3/4 of a pound of hamburger. There you go. Helen, I'm thankful my mom taught me how to cook. She cooked enough and we never had leftovers except pinto beans for bean salad the next day. Yep. Cheryl says, what brand of collagen are you taking? I have a hard time with some brands. So let me get that link here. This will be an affiliate link for you. But I have had a really hard time with collagen powders, and I mentioned my nail keeps breaking because I damaged my finger. I tried to lop off my finger and it hurt my fingernail. And so my fingernail keeps splitting really bad. And so I kept trying different collagen powders and they would make me really sick to my stomach. And so I found this one and it is called, oops. Oh, great. Now where did it go? Oh, crud. Hold on just a second. It is, no, I don't think so. Because there's a whole bunch of them. And I tried just Knox gelatin made me really sick. And, crud. Just a second. Let me find it here. And, aha, here it is. Multi-collagen peptides powder. So this is the one that I got. I am not making any medical claims or anything, but it is the only one that has not made me sick to my stomach, and my nail is finally growing out. Now it's still splitting, but it's not splitting as bad. And I've only been on it since June, so 3 months. And they say it takes 4 to 6 months for your nail to completely grow from all new nail. So I have 3 more months to go, and then we'll see. Do you guys I literally painted my nails last night. Can you believe that? I am so mad at my top coat and base coat. I'm so mad. I didn't even do dishes today. I just had the sponge in my hand and was wiping off totes in the basement. 3 totes is all I wiped off. And this is what it is. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I love the collagen. And actually, it helps my CFS and fibromyalgia feel better also. So it's not a cure, but I do notice I have a perk and what a pick-me-up kind of. And you can just sprinkle it in tea, coffee. What I do is I put it in water with a little bit of water flavor thing and stir it up, and that's my dessert in the evening. So that's how I take it. And I divide it in two. I take one in the afternoon, one scoop in the afternoon, and then one scoop at night, just to break it up a little bit. Olympia says I need a rice recipe. So that's in volume 1 of Dining on a Dime if you have it, or livingonadime.com.
We have a whole little section on how to cook rice.
Yeah, we have the rice recipe.
Walk you through step by step.
Yep. Vicky says I made taco salad tonight. Enough for tomorrow. Very good. Vicky says looking forward to cooking vegetable soup when it gets colder soon. Very good. Gina, I cleaned out my freezer today. I trashed 6 turkeys, but at least 4 years old, so it was sad. I hate when I keep putting off cooking sometimes. So here's the thing. You should have at least cooked one and just saw. I had another viewer last year. She had a turkey that was 5 years old in her freezer, and she cooked it, and she said it was just fine.
Yeah, your freezer stuff, if you can cook it, it's not going to have any food poisoning or anything because it's been in the freezer.
Might be dried out.
It may be dried out. It might have a little bit of freezer burn taste or something like that, but it doesn't hurt to cook it and taste it and see if it's going to taste okay. If it tastes fine, go ahead and,
Yeah, I would definitely cook it. So don't
eat
throw
that
it away.
stuff. Even you need to be, we're conditioned now to throw out everything afraid that we're going to get food poisoning or something. Even like with the expiration dates on cans, those can go for a long, long time, most of the time on stuff and everything. So,
Crescent says, I heard if you have cramps to drink pickled juice. Wish I knew that when I was younger. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. And go ahead and send me the next one before you leave, Mike. Sandy, never left money to anyone. If you do, consider it a gift. I've learned the lesson. Okay, so I don't know where that comment went because I didn't see it in. It was 1,500. Okay, so someone asked, "What do you?"
She said she's on a fixed income.
Yeah.
Her son $1,500. He hasn't paid that.
Yeah. So the comment was, I loaned my son $1,500. I'm on a fixed income. It took me years to save up this money and he hasn't paid me back. What do I do? First of all, don't loan them money. If you're going to give them money, it needs to just be a gift, and don't loan them money. But if he's not paying it back, you're just going to have to accept that he's not paying it back, start over again, and just realize that he's not going to pay it back. Now, if your son is that disrespectful that he just takes and borrows $1,500 and doesn't pay you back, you have much bigger problems than the $1,500 with your relationship with your son. So, I don't know how your son treats you generally, but someone who does that to their mother on a fixed income has got way bigger problems with your relationship. So
what I did with my kids and my grandkids is, first of all, you need to know them. You know your kids and grandkids well enough that Tara, she was careful with her money from the time she was like little. She was very careful. One of my grandsons, I went and gave each one of the grandkids a quarter to put in the bubble gum machine. And BJ, Tara's oldest, he looked at me. He said, Nan, do you mind if I save that? He was only like 5 or 6. He said, do you mind if I save this quarter instead of buying bubble gum? Their personalities, you can tell. You need to teach them first off, how to do their money. Don't just give them everything and anything they want for money all the time. But I learned their personality. So some of them were responsible in some areas, like did they clean up their room proper? Did they do their whole general personality? You can learn how responsible the kids are. So if they're not going to be responsible in other areas and different things, I would hesitate in giving them any big chunk of money. But I always told my grandkids I would give them first of all, I know that. And if they never really asked me, And this is another clue, is the fact that they never really
gonna say,
asked me. I've never had them.
So I have borrowed money from mom, but not because I didn't have the money. Like when we went to go buy a car one time, we didn't have the cash on hand and it was the weekend and the bank was closed. So I borrowed cash from mom, but then Monday we turned around and paid her right back. But I have never asked mom to borrow money.
Neither one of my kids
Ever.
have, because they're very responsible. But if either one of them did, I've trusted them for years that they would, because they care enough for me, they would pay me back. They do anything and everything to try to pay me back if they had to borrow some. But with my grandkids, I said, I watched them and I knew which ones would be really responsible with the money and which ones wouldn't. And my one grandson, he was buying a car for me. And he needed a car really, really bad. And he'd been really careful. He didn't even ask me or anything. And I said, listen, I had the opportunity to get another car myself. I was giving him my own, not giving him, but I told him he could buy my old car from me. And it wasn't very much, but I said, you can make payments to me, installments. And it was a smaller amount of just a few $100. I think it was like $500 or something. And he already gave me part of it, down payment for it. So I said, just make me payments. And, that was my testing ground. He faithfully not only paid me the payments on a regular time, he also sometimes would give me more than what, he needed to even pay me. And he was doing everything in his power to get me paid off as quickly as he could. That was a good test, because now if something would happen in his life, he'd say, Nan, I'm desperate. And he would come and ask for something. I already know how responsible his track record has been. And I would be more than willing to give him, the money in that case. That's how you test these things out. You just don't give, even to family, you just don't give them money, unless you know.
Yeah. And if my kids are being irresponsible, for sure, I would not.
No, I wouldn't even dream of it.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, another thing, like Tara said, when I give to family, if I give them money for anything, I never think of it as in my mind as a loan. I always think of it as I'm just giving it to them. They don't know that. I don't tell them. Well, you know it now, but I don't tell them that. And I say it's a loan, but in my mind, it's just because otherwise it's going to cause friction.
Let's see. Terry says, does Dining on a Dime have pancake syrup? Yes. Volume 1 has several syrups and they are very delicious.
Like strawberry, blueberry, those types of syrups. And maple.
Michelle says, I have two 12-inch skillets and a smaller one for fried eggs. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Valley Badlands, my niece lives near the border, has an American P.O. box. They are on holiday right now. As soon as she's back, I'll order all the books. Yay! That's great way to do it. Yes. Listen, I'm really sorry, Canadians and Europeans and Australians, but it got to the point we had to stop shipping internationally because the VAT taxes, the customs, all of those things were literally costing us money because they were just taking books and dumping them and our customers weren't receiving them. And so we just had to stop because it was too much for us. So I'm really sorry about that.
But that's why we tried to make sure we had the ebook at least, know.
Wellman says, what is recommended is that you have a few carbs for breakfast and lunch and then eat whatever your carb allowance is for 1 hour for dinner. So it lowers insulin stimulation. Yeah. But I mean, just stop worrying about it and just don't eat so much.
Just do the simple.
Patty says, I tried to make sourdough starter, major fail. We'll stick to our bread recipe. It never fails. Thank you. Michelle says, I like fried egg and cheese with bacon, fully cooked, and toasted English muffin. Yum.
Mm-hmm.
Wellman says, I eat low carb for, let's see. Kathy says, a little something I do is we cook up 2 to 3 pounds of taco meat, eat it on 2 to 3 days, and then if there's any meat left, we freeze it. Very good. Use it for chili. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mary Ellen has a salad master and loves it. Makes a good apple upside down cake. Oh, that's interesting, huh? Karen, just keep your starches at ½ cup each. Potato, pastas, corn. Yep. Vegetables or cup serving, and fruit ½ cup, and proteins are 3 ounces. Yep. Janet, this is what I do when I count points. Eat the same thing every few days. Yep. Bonnie, it helps make aware of how much food we actually eat. And
You know, if you're supposed to get a half a cup of something, like a half a cup of vegetables is what you're supposed to eat. Just take one of those little plastic measuring cups that's a half a cup and just set it on your counter and have it sitting out for a week or two. And you can see when you dish, you know, your vegetable on the plate, does it look about what would fit in that measuring cup? You don't even have to dirty the measuring cup every time if you don't want to. You can just see, get an eyeball, you know, eyeball it and see. And if that helps, do something like that too.
Sandy, in the U.S., isn't the food pyramid replaced with My Plate? I don't know. Just pick one. It's really
Yeah.
not that big of a deal.
Don't get it too complicated. That's why we say food pyramid. It's one simple thing that everybody can use.
Jim says most of us eat way too much. It's huge portion sizes. Yes.
Mhm.
And he also says we've been noticing as we watch old movies and shows how much more we all eat. I know.
Yeah.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Mhm. And another thing, we had an exchange student from Sweden, and she said when she came over here, she said she couldn't believe how there's food everywhere here in America. When you go to the pharmacy, she said, we would never even have a candy bar or anything sold in a pharmacy like Walgreens and those types of places, let alone other food sold. And she said, you go to the movie, they've got food at the movie, you know, and stuff like that. So we do eat way too much food on all different levels.
Yeah. Ann says I'm on Weight Watchers. We don't count calories. We lost 52 pounds. It's favorite. Well, you do count calories. It's just a different system. I'm like, it's fine if you want to do that, but you're still counting calories.
Yeah.
I mean, points are calories. It doesn't really matter. You're still counting what you do. So,
and a lot of those, like Jenny Craig and those, they send you the meals and stuff. Basically, why people lose weight on them is they send you the portions, the right portions. And that's what we say, just eat the right portions and you can do your own Jenny Craig and different things for Nutrisystem.
Galen says, I keep an active list of what's in my pantry, one for my fridge, one freezer. On my list is the food item, the size and when I bought it. I'll look at a list and find the oldest item and cook it. Yep. Very good.
That's good.
Kimberly, for myself and my husband, I just cook one big meal and we have leftovers and then I can always reimagine the food for other dishes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Valley of the Badlands. My kids were so excited to have a hot micro meal until they spent most of their lunch hour standing in line for the microwave. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm like, seriously, we have to have 4 microwaves. My son goes to a very small school. 4 microwaves because these kids can't have just a cold lunch.
And even at that, we would have hot stuff when I went to school and there was no such thing as a microwave because we had these little tiny thermos jug container things that my mom would just put something warm in there and send it in our lunchbox. You know, why do we have to have special, more complicated things now?
Greta, 2 pork tacos for lunch is fast food, $10. Yep.
Mm.
Olympia, you should see the videos on social media of parents with all these fancy containers for their kids as lunches. I know. Don't get me started. It's no wonder people get stressed out.
Yeah.
My goodness. Mary Ellen, I remember being newlywed and had to call my mom to ask how to make gravy. I could have used your cookbooks back then. Yes, they do make great wedding presents. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Jennifer scored 50% off clearance ground beef at Aldi this week. Filled my freezer with 14 pounds. Good job.
Wow,
good job. Good job. Little Crafty Nook. Hello, my fellow YouTuber. We missed you. Did you go to Vid Summit? I'm sorry. We missed it this year. She says, I have major seasoned salt. And she has said in other shows that she absolutely loved it. Bounding the Badlands, Steve McQueen. He was so hot. Mike, you are now Steve McQueen.
Yeah, I know who Steve McQueen is.
Steve McQueen.
I know who Steve McQueen is.
Oh wait, I think they did a old movie thing here. Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
Don't see the resemblance, but okay. Sure.
She meant personality-wise, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
The toughness.
Sandy, I'm going to miss the live comedy hour. Thank you. Jen, late getting here, but you're not going to be live for a while because of Superfund vacation. Yes, we're doing other things for a while. So Yes, so we are not going to be live for a while.
And we do have tons of videos, you guys. If you need to get a fix, some kind of a fix or something, you can watch. We got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
So Little Crafty Nook says, I used to call it kitchen cacciatore instead of chicken cacciatore. That's funny. Claire says, pasta is so easy. 1 cup of flour, a little salt. We're in processor with the motor running. Add 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of water. Process until dough forms. Add more water if necessary. Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Jen says the balloon was floating by me to say hi. Was it going by you too? Oh my goodness. That's crazy. I don't know what's happening. Something's going on. Okay, let's see here. Karen says, I use the chocolate frosting recipe from volume 1, the red one. Excellent. Thank you.
That's something good and easy to send kids with their lunch too, or for a snack for coming home from school, is take graham crackers and spread a little chocolate frosting. Or if you have a little bit of leftover chocolate frosting, spread it on the graham crackers and make like a sandwich, graham cracker sandwich for the kids.
Yep. Susan says, I need another Dining on a Dime cookbook. Mine got something spilled on it. Didn't know if you'll be having any more sales this year. Yeah, we'll have a Black Friday sale, but this is for fall. This is our last sale. It ends tomorrow. So this is 24 hours notice, guys. 24 hours notice, 35% off right now. Were you going to say something?
Well, I don't want to scare anybody, but
you're going to anyway.
Yeah. Come Christmas. I'm getting Christmas gifts now because I'm not sure, that one year we couldn't get things shipped in and we couldn't get things. And so I'm starting to get some of my grandkids' Christmas presents and even stocking up on some of the food we're going to have for Christmas because we don't know what's going to happen after the election here and the way things are going. So if you can get as many things, that just happened to make me think about getting Christmas presents and stuff, get as much as you can now ahead of time. And the prices may be going up too on a lot of other things, that you're buying at Christmas. So it'd be nice if you can get some things now.
Susie says, my mom used to say if we complained about what she fixed, that we'd only get bread and spit on it if we don't hush up. Oh, okay. I guess. I don't know. That's a little harsh, but okay.
She survived, I guess.
I guess. Sandy says cooked beets and feta cheese is good salad. Okay, that's a new one on me. I love beets, but I've never heard of that.
Beets.
Tanya says we go out occasionally, but my house is almost paid off, $28,000, and hopefully it will be paid off next year. Good job. Good job. Let's see. Where do I buy my glasses? Lovely girl wants to know. Okay, so these I got at Zenni, Zenni, optical.com. But here's the thing. They're progressives. And yes, my progressives cost $700 at the eye doctor, and these were $70. But I will tell you, Zenni has really gone down in their quality. So if you're getting basic glasses that aren't complicated, like bifocals, trifocals, those kinds of things, if it's just a basic one prescription, but even those, I'm having to send back my glasses almost every time now. So I've actually stopped ordering from them. And then I tried iBuy Direct. They were even worse. As a matter of fact, I had to threaten them to get a refund. It was a huge ordeal. So you can try Zenni, but I don't know if, I don't know what kind of look you'll have now. The last 2 years since I've been ordering glasses, it has not been good. So anyway,
that's another thing for prepping. A lot of people don't think of. If you don't have extra glasses, you might want to get an extra pair of glasses because prices might be going up on those types of things. That's very negative. I've been talking negative, haven't I, for the past couple of things.
Rita, whole chicken at our grocery store is $1.69 a pound. Very good. Mary Ellen says 5 pounds of red potatoes, $1.50. 3 pounds for mini Yukons for 90 cents. Very good.
Wow, that's good.
Wanda says, don't feel too bad for typos. I made a good living as a transcriptionist or production typist for years. I make typos too, especially on my tiny phone keyboard. I know. Every book I read now, every book, everyone, I find typos.
Yeah.
Every single time. Now that I'm self-published and I know what we've been looking for, I find typos. Every single book. Every single book.
And
so
these are
that's why I don't feel bad about
these are big companies, publishing companies that have that.
I mean, I feel bad that a recipe got misprinted in the book, but I'm not going to feel guilty or anything about it because it's just the way it happens.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I'm very sorry that happened, but we're going to put a correction on every book now that we have noticed it. So, Fro's family is in Japan, and she says, yeah, earthquakes are pretty hairy. My daughter was in the middle of a big one, survived. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, typhoons are bad, too. Yeah. Kimberly thought of you today because my husband says he wants to replace our central air. Now our central air conditioner still works. It's from the 1970s, but he doesn't want to wait till it goes out completely, and we have to wait a long time to get it fixed. So we're about to drop over $3,000 on a new air conditioner. Our fridge is 20 years old, and he fixed it every time, but he doesn't want to wait for that to go out either. New fridge after Christmas. Oh, my. Oh. I would keep your 20-year-old fridge. I seriously would keep your 20-year-old fridge if you can keep repairing it, because the new refrigerators are awful.
Yeah, they are.
Go back and watch our videos with Pistol on the appliances. But I'm not kidding. Our new refrigerator that is 1.5 years old, Pistol has been out 5 times to fix it. And it was the #1 rated one at the time.
And I've heard several people on YouTube that they've mentioned they've got a brand new refrigerator or something, and they've had to send it back 2 or 3 times, more than one. A lot of them are having that trouble.
Stores aren't letting you have return policies. Like, you only have 48 hours to decide if you're going to keep it or not. So if something major happens, you just have to go with the warranty. So I would highly advise against getting a new refrigerator if you can still fix yours. As a matter of fact, I had thought about selling this one and getting an older refrigerator because this one is just so awful. Let's see. Wanda says she's dehydrated all of her okra this year. She loves having it in salad. That's a new one. Never heard of dehydrated okra. Huh. Little Crafty Nook. My granddaughter and her husband moved there 2 years ago, bought a house. She's attending a university there. Very good. Little Crafty Nook also says Vital Proteins mixes well with coffee. Yeah. Actually, I love that protein powder. I really love it. And what's funny was I was talking to my doctor yesterday about some stuff to do just to help me start feeling better. And she said, oh, yeah, I'm getting some peptides, and we can maybe do an infusion of that, because I told her the glutathione helped me feel really good. But then that's what the drink that I'm drinking is those peptides. So that's why it's making me feel better. Vicky, okay, sorry, it's to Kimberly. Elaine, I assume you'll go to the lighthouse at Cape Elizabeth, Maine, not to be missed. No, that wasn't on our list. Didn't know anything about it. Sorry. I have not been to Vermont or Maine. So
are you going to Maine too then?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've never been to Vermont or Maine. So we're just kind of checking it out because we don't know what we're going to find. So let's see. Kimberly says, yes, we got the money together for their air conditioner. So that's good. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Lemon Squeezy. How often should I change my fridge baking soda for smells? I think it was once a month is what it used to be recommended. But here's the thing. Why are you having smells in your refrigerator? You shouldn't be having smells in your refrigerator. Keep your onions in a container, garlic in a container.
Put everything in a container.
But if your refrigerator is smelling, what I would do is take everything out of the refrigerator, thoroughly clean it with bleach or baking soda or both, and then you shouldn't be having smell problems. I have never had baking soda in my fridge or freezer ever.
And you need to take out the drawers and different places, because sometimes meats have dripped or things have dripped down behind stuff, and it's just staying in there where you don't normally clean, like just a shelf type thing.
Mm-hmm. Teresa is freezing squash today, 2 for $3. What a steal. Yep. Mm-hmm. Fluffin' Time says, last year I cooked up a turkey from 2019 and everyone kept complimenting about how good it was. So that would be, let's see, so last year was 2023, so it was 4 years old. I didn't tell anyone else. Good for you.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't think our other viewer said it either. And Wanda says, even if your turkey is dried out, so let's say you bake it and it doesn't work, just give it as dog food. That's
or
a great
put
idea.
Gravy on it.
Yeah.
You know, you can cover it up with gravy or chop it up.
If it's freezer burned, you don't want.
Oh, freezer burned.
Yeah.
I didn't know she said freezer burned.
She said dried out, but I'm just saying.
Oh,
if
yeah.
It's freezer burned.
Yeah,
you don't,
dried out.
Dried out,
if your turkey's dried out, you can fix it with that. But
Badlands, have you tried whipped beef tallow on your nails? That's one moisturizer I haven't tried. Problem is, do I want to smell like a dead cow?
It probably doesn't smell.
I have a lot of fragrances, so I could render it down and get the smell out. Michelle says, my poor friend from the third floor gives out too much money and then he doesn't have money for himself. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you're an adult, unless there's an extenuating circumstance, and I mean severe illness or something.
My grandkids were in the hospital and Tar and Mike needed help. You better believe I would lend them money, but that's not the type of thing.
That's 99% of the time is not what's happening when parents are lending their kids money. So, Little Crafty Nook, I told my husband after he insisted I throw out what I considered good spaghetti in a casserole that my first husband, the spendthrift, and I ate anything that didn't have mold or obviously smelled. Yep. Yep, exactly. Michelle, Tara, you need to save money for emergencies. Yes, we have money saved for emergencies, but when you go to buy a car, I don't keep $10,000 sitting in my house. So we did have a couple.
They had it,
but
they needed cash.
I needed a little bit more for cash. So it's not like, and I'm not going to, So anyway, that was no biggie, but yeah. Mary Z says, what am I doing wrong? I live alone. I buy groceries once a week and spend $150 to $200 a week. I don't buy munchies, cookie, candy, strictly food. Any suggestions how to bring that down? Yeah, first of all, that's an absolute ludicrous. I don't even spend that much on 4 people. I didn't spend that much on 6 people. So first of all, you are buying things. You just need to figure out what you're buying, because you're buying some hoity-toity stuff to be spending that much. And
you're maybe not buying on sale.
Yeah.
You're maybe eating a little bit more than you should.
You should never pay full price for meat. Ever, ever, ever. Meat, fruits, and vegetables, I never pay full price for. Never buy pre-cut up anything.
Yeah.
Nothing is pre-cut up. Use frozen vegetables instead of fresh. What else? I mean,
don't buy fancy, expensive vegetable or fruits or something like that. Buy bananas and apples. They're usually like the cheapest types of things. And so,
are you buying creamer for your coffee?
I was going to say, make sure you're not buying the most expensive coffees that you can buy, and cut back on it and get brands that aren't quite so expensive and things like that.
Yeah. Helen says, had rice and black-eyed peas with tomato chutney, and I made a personal pan apple crisp for summer. For supper. That sounds good. I might have to make me some apple crisp. That sounds really good. Little Crafty Nook, meal prep for portion control. Yes. Lots of YouTube videos on it. Yeah, I know. It's like, that's all it boils down to is calories in, calories out. I don't care what anybody says. You can comment all you want, and all it's going to do is make my channel go crazy. So that's fine. But it boils down to calories in and calories out. It does. Wanda, because everybody kept telling me, oh, you got to do carnivore this, carnivore that. I tried carnivore, and in 1 month I gained 10 pounds. I ain't doing that again. So it's crazy. Wanda, for many years, I had a good friend who passed away 2 years ago. I made decent money, but got paid every second Friday. I would often call him and ask to borrow money from him. On the 3rd, he would say yes, but I need it by the 29th. He always got it as soon as I did. Yeah, very good. Let's see. Sandy, she does a lot of batch cooking. Very good. Very good. Margaret, go to a thrift store and pick up an old plate and bowl. Seriously, there is a big difference in size, much smaller. Yeah.
There is. And
I was trying to see.
if you're
Okay.
having trouble with portion control, start using smaller plates, smaller bowls. I can't believe the cereal bowls are giving like a 5 or 6-year-old child these huge monster things that I use almost for a mixing bowl. They're unreal. And
Okay. So,
I was looking to see if you have
What?
a bowl. The bowls are what's really bad.
so here's the size of a dinner plate. This is a 10-inch dinner plate that people most use. Now, this isn't a plate, but it's the same size. But this is an 8-inch plate. Now, look at the difference there. Let's see. There. Look
This
at the
is the
difference.
size plate I always use.
This is about, okay, if you divide it in half, have your meat over here, have your fruit or vegetable here, and your starch here. This is about 350 to 400 calories if you do it that way. But most people do this, and this is 600 to 700 calories. Okay.
And sometimes they fill it up again.
Yeah.
Or pile it. You got to watch the piling. I go to places and I just am appalled when somebody have us over for dinner or something, the food's just piled. I mean, I've seen food piled 3 and 4 inches tall on these plates. And no space. There's no space between anything. Everything's mushed together in this big tall pile. And so it really is portions is what people are having problems with.
Tracy, I just tuned in with this big announcement. The big announcement is we are not going to be doing any live shows for the foreseeable future. So, yes. Jonathan, hello.
Hi,
He
Jonathan.
says, I'm with you, Miss Jill, because he's from the South.
Yeah.
I'm starting my Christmas shopping now and doing election shopping. Yes,
Way to go,
we're doing our
Jonathan. Way
election
to go.
shopping also.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything's going to happen, but if it can, it probably will this year.
Mhm.
So, yes.
And you can get a lot. I went to the store just this past week and I got cheese that the expiration date is into February. So, I'm getting at least that. So I'll have all my cheeses for Christmas, for when we have our Christmas meal and stuff like that.
Sandy, when is the election in the U.S.? November 5th. And it can't get here soon enough or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, it's already, everybody says, here they say, oh, don't do Trump because, Kamala is going to just make our lives just so wonderful, except that the Democrats have been in charge 12 of the last 16 years. And look how our lives have been. So if you believe that, that's fine, but you've got your head buried in a sand.
And one thing I haven't heard, I know we don't need to do politics, but one thing I've never heard anybody mention this whole time, I've lived a long time now, a very long time, and I've been through a whole lot of presidents. And the presidents on most of the time that have been a vice president, and then they either get into office because of some kind of circumstances or elected into office, they never do very good as a president. I don't know why, but you look
the
back.
vice president,
Yeah, if the vice president is elected into office for
they
whatever
don't
reason,
make good presidents.
they don't make good presidents when they're elected into president office. I'm not sure why, but that's been my experience in the past presidents, of the United States. So
And says we had chicken fajitas using our fajita seasoning from Dining on a Dime Volume 1, and they were absolutely delicious. Thank you.
thank you.
Yes, they are. I do buy fajita seasoning just because there is a huge shaker thing that Mike likes, but the fajita seasoning in here is super delicious. It's just a different flavor for the other one. So, Susie, not thrilled with Sam's. We have the Plus account. Now we have to have $50 of stuff before they will ship stuff for free. Ooh.
Mm.
Wow. Vicky, my refrigerator compressor went bad after 2 years. We have an American Home Shield warranty and LG and had a new compressor the next day. Yeah, so that is actually, there was a lawsuit on that. So you should check into that. I'm not surprised at all. Angela, my fridge light went out after a year and the replacement bulb was $50. Oh my goodness. Needless to say, it's been dark ever since. You know what? Don't leave it dark. Get you one of those little push lights, little battery operated push lights. and just stick it on the top of your fridge and use that. That should work. I would just do that. Claire says I bought a second used fridge for about $200. Oh, sorry. Oh, here I've been. Guys, you like my IV they tried to put in me? Look at that. Is that not insane what they did to me? My goodness. And actually, it hurts really bad. Laura, do you ever buy really cheap chicken that looks fatty, or do you stay with certain brand? Nope, I just buy the cheapest chicken they have. Fatty doesn't matter to me because I roast it and I love the skin, so I eat it. And the fat, I baste it and it makes it really nice and crispy.
And you know, everybody's been talking about collagen, but I did some research last week on that, and they said that so many people don't have enough collagen now because they're not buying their meats with bones and skin. And I've been saying this for a long time. I thought, why all of a sudden are people having problems with these certain things? But they said the bone and the skin has most of the good nutrients and vitamins in like the chicken. And people aren't buying the chicken with that in there. And so they're not getting all the stuff that they need a lot of times from these things.
Yeah, everybody says don't get a Samsung. Yeah, what I've in Pistol or appliance repair guy said don't get Samsung either.
Yeah.
Yep. Eva, how long do you need to put flour in the freezer to keep from having bugs? 1 day, 24 hours.
24 hours.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Lemon squeezy, my onions and leftovers make the fridge smell. Maybe I just need to use them faster. No, you need to cover them better. Put them in a sealed container.
Never put anything in the refrigerator that's not covered.
Yeah.
Leftovers, anything, always in an airtight container.
Yeah.
Because what happens too is, besides the refrigerator smelling, things like butter and stuff like that, if you have butter sitting in there, it can absorb those smells and cause the other foods to have an off taste to them.
Yeah. Bunny Badlands says beef tallow properly rendered does not smell like dead cow. Yeah, I know. You're right. I wasn't even thinking because, I render it all the time for my soap. And I wasn't even thinking you're right because my soap doesn't smell like dead cow. My unscented soap, I should say. Lori says always make sure you check your receipts to make sure you're not getting overcharged. Yep. I totally get that.
Good.
Lynn says she finished her Christmas shopping in March. Wow.
Very good.
Amazing Grace said my previous stoves were Whirlpool and I've never had an issue. Yeah, my last Whirlpool I hadn't had an issue. This one I'm kind of wondering. I haven't had an issue yet, but the top squeaks. And I'm like, I don't think my top should be squeaking. So I'm waiting for the top of my Whirlpool to break, but we'll see.
Some things too, the one guy I had, appliance guy, he said what's happening is some of these like different Maytag and these different companies are selling their company over to these other types of companies. And so now they're not doing the stuff as good.
Yeah.
They don't have the.
Sandy says she gained 15 pounds in 1 month on the carnivore diet. Yes, I get it. Oh, and Michael Kellum. Hello, Michael Kellum. Oh, you're sitting in the parking lot waiting for your son. Do I flirt with the audience?
With the audience? I don't think they want you flirting with them. Scare them.
Tanya, also eat slower. When you wolf down your food, you feel full.
Yes. I was thinking of that just the other day because I usually try to eat fairly slow. And I caught myself, I was walking from the kitchen into the living room because I was going to watch something on TV while I was eating. And I picked up my fork while I was walking in there and I started snarfing my food down. I thought, I never do that. And I thought, oh my goodness, I wonder how many people just snarf and eat like that, really fast. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Thank you, everyone who's going to be missing us. We appreciate that.
Thank you, guys.
Froze Family says my doctor in the olden days said just to eat a little bit of everything. Yep. Mm-hmm. Vicky, the worst president was Jimmy Carter. I remember inflation was so high. I know. That's what people keep saying. Oh, this is so great. It's like, just look at the 70s. Mom was there. Jimmy Carter was absolutely ridiculous. And then if Kamala gets in, she keeps saying she's going to do price, what do you call it?
Slashing?
No, regulations.
Oh.
I can't think of what it's called. But anyway, where the government says how much you can charge for stuff, listen, companies aren't going to make anything.
Oh, yeah.
If the government tells me I can only charge X amount for my cookbooks, you can guarantee that's it. We're not selling cookbooks anymore. And that's what's going to happen. And then
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to buy bread.
Yeah, you won't be able to get food. And see, I keep thinking, do these people not think
No,
this
they
stuff
don't
all
think
the
it
way
through.
through?
They just think,
I mean,
the other Trump is just a mean man.
I'm just
He
a
is
common
not.
everyday person, and just logic and common sense tells me that that's what's going to happen.
But, I mean, if you believe what you want to believe, but let me tell you, the Democrats have been in office 12 of the last 16 years. Obamacare absolutely ruined our medical system.
Mhm.
Our medical insurance wasn't affordable after that. We went from $450 a month with a $1,500 deductible for the entire family before Obamacare to $1,500 a month and a $9,000 deductible per person in our family. There is nothing affordable about that. Biden has been in office for 4 years almost, and it has been nothing but inflation. So you believe what you want to believe, but the facts are the Democrats are the ones who are raising the prices. They have proven that. So, just vote however you want, but that's the facts. Homestead Fred got 40 pounds of chicken legs for $10 today. That is a great deal. Holy moly.
My goodness.
Wait a minute.
What, 40 cents.
Pounds.
40 cents a
$10 divided by 40. Let me just make sure. Is that right? 25 cents a pound.
25 cents.
I don't know that I have ever purchased chicken at 25 cents a pound. Oh my goodness. You got a good deal. Wow. Angela, great idea for the light in the fridge. Yeah. And if you you could just set one on, you could put one on the top and one on the side, and then just whichever part of the refrigerator you're working on. And they have motion censored ones. You don't even have to push anything. I was looking for my friend. We were redoing her closet, and they have a motion sensor one that you can just, move your hand and it turns on. And then after 2 minutes or 3 minutes or something, it turns off. And it was only $10 or something. It wasn't very much.
And I heard a gal today, her oven went out, and she said it's like the third time in a year that her ovens went out. And the guy told her, he said, what's happening is her oven door wasn't shutting proper. And so it was causing the thermostat and the heating element to work 100. So she shut the door and it would just keep working. So he told her, he said, just get a child lock thing and put on the door. And when you push it, it'll hold it too. So sometimes there's really simple fixes to a lot of these things. If you get a good appliance guy.
Little Crafty Nook, am I deliberately ignoring Mike? No, I just am behind on the comments. So I'm just going through. So I just didn't see them. Vicki, I don't store my onions or potatoes in the fridge. They are open shelf in my pantry. Yes, but I do store my onions in the fridge in the crisper drawer because then I don't cry when I cut them. So that's why I store them.
I don't store my onions any place.
That's because you're weird. Wanda, McDonald's used to use beef tallow in the fryer. Now they use vegetable oil because it's healthier, but their fries aren't as good. Yeah.
What's the difference?
I totally get it. Stephanie says just eat until you are no longer hungry, not until you are full. Yes. Yep. I totally get it. Price controls. That's what it was called. Price controls is what Kamala wants to do. And you guys, listen, you were warned. I'm sorry, but for all of these people who are complaining about prices, if you voted for Biden, you voted for it. I mean, now I will tell you, I 100% believe it's a rigged game at this point.
Yeah.
It is. You are not going to convince me. All of the evidence is there despite what they keep telling you. And even some of the politicians themselves are coming out and saying it. And so the thing is, it's fine. Go ahead. But just realize your prices are going to keep going up. They're not going to go down. Let's see. Little Crafty Nook says his personality shouldn't matter anyway. She's talking about Trump. What they do is what counts. Yes, I want to see what they actually did. And when Trump was in office, gas was $2, less than $2 a gallon. Since Biden's been in office, it has been over $3 to $3.50 here in Wyoming ever since. And groceries have gone up 20%. My electric's gone up. My car insurance has gone up. Everything has gone up since Biden has been in office. So, I mean, you just gotta, you just gotta look at the facts. And if you don't want to believe the facts, that's fine. But then you can't complain about high prices. If you vote Democrat, you cannot complain about high prices. Just the way it is. I'm sorry. DZ. And then there were the guys who ate part of frozen mammoth. Wouldn't worry about the turkey. Oh my goodness. Oh, you guys should see what I bought at the garage sales. Shoot. Actually, I'm doing a video on it. But I found number 10 cans. So the big number 10 cans is what the big cans of food are called. Prepper stockpiler food from 1980 at a garage sale. I got 4 cans of it. I think I'm going to open it and see if I die.
I was going to say, who are you going to have test it?
My son said, so my doctor's a prepper too. And my son said, Mom, I think maybe you should ask your doctor about that. So I did. And she was like, that's pretty sketchy. I said, I know, but a viral video or a stomach virus?
I think it'd be beyond a stomach virus if it's bad.
Oh my goodness gracious. So let's see. Okay. Let's see. Jamie's okay. Just not going to read. So some of these guys, I totally get it. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's all there. Here's the thing. I think we're doomed no matter what. Even if Trump gets into office, he might slow things down for a few years. But we as a country and as the world are so far gone.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter. The United States has already told the World Health Organization that if there's another thing going around, that they can have full control over everything. Mm-hmm. The one world government is coming. Just brace for impact. I don't know as Christians if we're going to be here before that or after it gets started. I don't know. But it is coming and there is no stopping it. And so you cannot have the trillions of dollars of debt that our country has and expect to get out of it. It's just not going to happen. We are on a downward spiral and there is no way out. And so the best thing you can do is prepare for you and your family, accept that this is the way it's going to be and do what you can. So, I mean, that's what it all boils down to. Judy says, I got 5 packages of chuck steak for $2 each and 5 packages of ground beef for $2.50 each, 2 packages of chicken legs for $3 each, and a pork bone for $7.
Wow.
That is great.
Really good. That is
great. Okay, let's see. Sandy, what about all the unwanted visitors in the U.S.? Oh, I mean, that's just the icing on the cake of this administration. Don't even get me started on that. Kim, you need to run for president. Our government wastes trillions of dollars. Don't even get me started on that one either. I know. Okay, let's see. Kimberly says biblical prophecy is coming to fruition. Yes, it is. I mean, that's what that's what it amounts to, is the prophecies in the Bible are coming true. As Christians, am I worried about it? No. But do I prepare for it? Yeah. I mean, to see what happens. And so that's just the way it is. And you're just going to have to accept it. Shirley says, this is not a political show. It should be about saving money. Shirley, this is my show. If you don't like it, don't let the door hit you on the way out. I don't really care what you think. This is my show. I'll say what I want. Susie, the prepper foods are supposed to last 25 years. Try at your own risk. I know, but I'm curious. I don't want to open all 4 of them, but I think I'm going to open all 4 of them. Let's see. What did I got? I got bouillon, TVP, texture vegetable protein. So soy.
I wouldn't eat that even if it wasn't
Beef-flavored
expired.
soy. Beef-flavored soy.
Even if it was
And what were the other 2? I'm trying to think. I
Ugh.
think one was maybe corn or something like that. And I can't remember what the other one was. Can't remember what it was. So yeah. Okay, let's see what else we have. Debbie says canned vegetables are 3 for 90 cents at our grocery store, limit 12. Man, I would get all you can.
Yeah, that's good.
I would get all you can. Mel says, yes, to our speaking facts, they're deliberately destroying our country. They are deliberately destroying our country. And if you don't think they are, you got your head buried in the sand, but they are. But you know what? We just have to do the best that we can, accept it, and just go with it. Because yes, you can do what you can, but this is the type of thing that is just 100% evil. And the battle is God's. Mm-hmm. It's literally a battle between good and evil. And if God chooses to have whoever in office, the Bible is very specific that God puts our kings in office. So that means he already knows what's going to be happening. So, you know, it's just the way it is. So, okay, let's see. Gina says, if you see any MREs, buy them. Some are pretty good. Well, there you go. There you go. Chicken quarters for $7.90 for 10 pounds. Yep, that's a pretty good deal. South Roop Liver says I should save the number 10 can still. I'm really starving. Yeah, be time to start losing some weight. Susan says, I've been reading Ezekiel and seeing how God judges nations. Yeah. Read the Bible and see how God judges nations who turn their backs on God. Yeah. It is not pretty. And as a nation, we have turned our backs on God. But as Christians in this nation, we can still pray for our nation. We can still fight as much as we can by voting and letting people know. But in the end, maybe God's just going to allow Harris to get into office because that's part of his plan. It just might be, and that's totally fine. So,
well, God's always taking care of us. It wasn't the nation that didn't have money and that was having hard times. We in our life have had hard times, you know, with very little money and lack of jobs and different stuff like that. And God's taken care of us then. So, you know, he's going to take care of us no matter what the nation's doing, really.
Yeah. And he promises to take care of his children. And you're only a child of God if you've given your life to Christ.
Exactly.
We are not all children of God. Every human on the earth is not a child of God. It is only those who have given their life to Christ. Shannon,
I was going to say, is that you? I can't read any of the comments, but I can see Shannon on there. I always notice you, Shannon.
Yep. So, except we are getting ready to go. So, Shannon, go back and watch. All right, guys, our Dining on a Dime cookbook sale is over tomorrow.
And remind them we won't be here Wednesday again.
It is livingonadime.com is where you can grab that. And this is our fall sale. The next sale will be a couple of months away. So if you would like our cookbooks, grab it now. And guys, this is our last live show for a while. So don't know when we're going to be back. But anyway, that's going to be it for a while. So thank you very much for watching us live. We are going to continue doing videos, but no more live shows for a while. So thank you very much. We love talking to you guys.
Bye-bye, guys.
See you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.